This is Dolynny TV, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. Welcome to another Labor Day edition of Edmonton Oilers discussion here on the channel today. Of course, celebrating as well 1 full year since I returned to doing this whole Oilers thing. And I must say, thank you so much for allowing me to do it, because it has been my absolute pleasure to sit back and be able to talk Edmonton Oilers with you every single day after almost 2 years off there, following the end of my channel there a little bit in the middle of the shortened season. So I'm glad to have you along. Thank you for being here. Let's not waste too much more time, friends. I'll ask you to subscribe in a minute or two. But the big conversation over the past few weeks with the Oilers in terms of the forward group is they need a bruiser. They need a tough guy. They need a guy who's an energy guy, right? Whatever line you want to use to try and explain that role in the modern NHL. Everybody's clamoring for the Oilers to find that guy because we've lost Klim Kostin. And when it comes to losing Klim Kostin, I think the effect is being a little overblown in terms of how you can replace him. Because everyone's like, oh no, we lost him, we have to replace him immediately. That's not the case. The Oilers did not have Klim Kostin immediately last year. We'll take a look at this slide right here, where we look at this tweet from Bob Stauffer on March 3rd discussing the impact of Klim Kostin on the Oilers lineup since being acquired in a trade with the St. Louis Blues back on October 9th, 2022. So keep that in mind, friends. The Oilers waited until almost the start of the year to acquire Klim Kostin, and secondarily did not have him in the lineup until a month or two into the season when injuries allowed for him to be recalled due to LTIR. So that's where we're sitting right now. Is you are about 5 weeks, 5 weeks exactly, 28 days and some odd days away. I guess 37. Sorry, my math is terrible. It's first thing in the morning. Pardon me, but you get where I'm going, right? The Oilers have plenty of time to allow camp to evolve, allow guys to step up, guys to work themselves out of the lineup, whatever the case might be, and as well other players across the NHL to do that with the teams they're with. I do not have a slide for this, but I will keep you in mind Austin Watson with the Tampa Bay Lightning. I believe he's on a PTO over there. I would keep a close tab on what's happening there with the Lightning, just to kind of see maybe, that kind of situation where a guy goes to camp somewhere and signs a contract elsewhere. We've had it happen here in oil country before. Yeah, just keep a close eye on that happening maybe here for the Edmonton Oilers. Austin Watson, a name that might be available still, even though he's on a PTO. But that's not the name I'd be targeting, friends. I have a much better name in mind, and I think for the second year in a row, we're talking about a Ritchie brother. But Nick Ritchie, who finished the year in Calgary. Of course, he's a left wing, 6'3", left-hand shot, 236 pounds. Okay, I'm not talking about this guy coming out here and beating up guys with the fist. I'm literally talking about Nick Ritchie being that perfect energy, hard-hitting, grinded-out kind of guy. And the reason I'm talking about Nick Ritchie instead of maybe Brett Ritchie or whatever the case might be across the NHL is just he's a UFA, no PTO status yet, so he's not going to camp with anybody. So if we wanted to scoop him up on a PTO, we could. If you want to scoop him up on a contract, you could as well. So stay tuned with me here. This Nick Ritchie's stats throughout the career he's had since 2015-16, and you look, he's been a solid NHLer ever since, right? Busted in with 33 games back then, has never played really less than about, 48 since the 16-17 season. A guy who scored 25 plus points 4 times in his career, or 5 times actually. It was the 5 points in Calgary helped him achieve that this year as well. But 58 games with the Coyotes this past year, 21 points. That might feel a little overinflated, and I don't blame you. But a guy who as well, in his 13 minutes and 38 seconds on the ice, shoots about a 10 point something odd shooting percentage. So that is something to keep in mind, is when you can find these kind of guys still hanging around come camp time, it's not necessarily a bad thing. I think we were talking about Brett Ritchie last summer when he was with the Calgary Flames, or before he signed with the Calgary Flames, pardon me, because he was the one that got traded for Nick Ritchie. The Ritchie brothers getting traded for each other. But it would be interesting, I guess, to see if the Oilers consider bringing in a tough energy guy, big guy, whatever you want to call him, size guy, for camp, or if we are actually done here with Sam Gagner and Brandon Sutter, or if the Oilers go out and identify in camp that teams are trying to push him around and go out there and just sign a guy like Nick Ritchie. There's not many guys left. Like I said, Austin Watson's another guy out there, but when it comes down to it, there's really few guys that fill a role that I think a lot of Oilers fans are clamoring for here going into training camp. So I think it would just be a good idea to keep tabs on two names I've mentioned here and look to see if the Oilers can find that guy kind of in the ether like they did with Klim Kostin on October 9th, 2022. Friends, I'm Tyson, this is Dolynny TV. Thank you so much for tuning in this afternoon. I would love if you could hit that subscribe button for me. That would be greatly appreciated before you head out. And friends, if you are a returning subscriber but have not yet, make sure to hit that notifications button as well. Helps to get the videos straight to your phone, straight to your desktop, whatever you want, and just alerts you when I post. I know there's going to be a lot of Oilers news, so it might not be a bad idea. Friends, I am up on out of here.